Okay, so we did the Euro USD. We're now doing the technical analysis for the US dollar against Japanese yen. We're going to start with the monthly chart and just kind of use that as direction to see what's going on. Okay, so right off the bat, it looks like we're looking at a possible trend line break, retest, and to the downside, or just kind of a bounce from, because it touched that line once, twice. It's touching right now. Whether that's going to be a touch or a break, we have to figure out as we see the greater price action. Okay, so look at that. Right, chart patterns are extremely important in this business, just because so many people use them. They're so recognizable. Evolutionary speaking, we are where we are because of pattern recognition in a way. So that's an ascending triangle. I'm guessing that if the price breaks this, we're going to go higher very, very much. However, we have to take into account, it's not 100% business. So whether we go here to the long, to the, whether we're, bullish or bearish, we have to quickly adjust in case we're wrong. Right. So that's what it looks like from this perspective, from the monthly. Let's go to the weekly chart, just to get more detail on the general raw price action. Okay, so it looks like we might be on a down channel. I'm gonna put those just like that, just to make them parallel. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like on the weekly chart we're on a down channel. Not so much, but just enough to make us kind of act on it. So let's go to the daily. I really like the daily because a lot of people use the daily. So if a lot of people use it, you got to take it into account because you just have to. So on the daily, we have a couple touches here of these major trend lines, and then we have a couple of lower ones right here. So what I'm getting from this is that we're right here, right? This is February, Friday, February 17th. Yeah, or 17th, whatever. Anyways, as this following week comes in, we're gonna look to go long. Depending on what we see in the 4-hour and the 1-hour chart structures, we're gonna look for a trend line break. Possibly that trend line break. So we're looking for price to retrace, possibly break, retest, and then explode to the upside if it continues with this channel pattern. So if it continues to follow this channel, down, up, whether this right here turns out to be a break, retest, and short, because this trend line right here is part of the longer, the monthly chart, part of the ascending triangle. got the coffee. Yeah. So if it does, right there is where we are. Depending on the price action here, we're gonna look to go long, but we have to wait for our entries. Okay, so that's the daily chart. What else? What else looks interesting on the daily chart? Okay, so that's price. You know, right there. As you can, if you follow that line, you can see back couple from 2014 ish. It's kind of like a support area, you know, support and resistance, where price has been has held for many times. So something around here, you know, this right here, we're gonna see what happens. If we do classify this as kind of support, then price will most likely bounce back up to keep in line with you know, the general the structure of this market. Right. Okay, so now let's switch to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so the 4-hour chart, you know, as we zoom in, you can see that the daily lines and stuff like that aren't really too defined. However, oh, okay, so you can see some deceleration here. You've seen a good candlestick right there that will show not only the deceleration, but what looks to be a possible acceleration to the upside, you know, to the bullish. So nothing too major on the 4-hour chart, other than we have this this support and resistance right there. Well, currently resistance line. Let's see. We have those lines there. Yeah. So theoretically, if we were going, so right around this price, and I'll go ahead and draw the rectangle. So let's look for something happening in that time right there. All right, so back to the 1-hour chart. Here on the 1-hour chart, let's see if we can find a trend line break, which would kind of be right there. You know, trend line break, retest. So let's go higher lows. So let me see if I can do a higher high and higher low kind of arrow. No. Okay, so let's see. So that's a lower low. That's kind of a mild low. That's a lower low. And then that's the final lower low. That's a higher, a lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and this looks like it's going to be a lower high. So what will probably happen is, now this is the hourly chart, right? So all this is going to be next week, starting Sunday. So come Sunday, we're going to see what price action holds, whether this is a real trend line break and retest, or if it's just a fucking fake out, right? Because that's the actual tip-to-tip line that we see. Now we can go more in depth into the 15-minute and 5-minute chart, but we can get a lot of noise from those charts just because of the fact that at any given time someone can, or a couple people can put a lot of volume into the market and make the candles act a little weird. but I've noticed that pretty much an hour and upwards in terms of scale, you get really good candles. So we'll see what happens. Looks like we're, this line is holding as a support line to the upside. So let's see. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. And I'll do an update here later. Let's just look at the daily real quick. Yeah, so it looks like we're a little overextended. I don't think we can accelerate too much to the short side, but we're gonna look for possible retest of this trend line here. Whether that retest becomes another, another lower high, and consequently continues down to make a lower low, or it kind of bounces back and forth, breaks this line, makes a retest, and then shoots back to the top of this this ascending triangle we have here, which will give us kind of a third a third push to this side right here. I'll look at some of the analysis of my competitors to see what they think, and I'll do an update here, because no matter what, this is money. So whether I'm right or wrong, if I see something in the analysis of my competitors that I feel that they have a point on, I'll share here, and I'll give them credit for their analysis, but I'll use some of their analysis to catch some of these pips. So from here to here, it looks like it's gonna be, a couple thousand, whatever, right? So that's gonna be it for this one. Not too bad a chart, but we just gotta look for better confidence. And if we do go to the upside, I'm guessing we're gonna have some kind of resistance right there. We're gonna hit that ceiling, just because, in 2017, January, March, April, in April 17, May 17, and August 17, we kind of hit those, that support right there, and we broke it. So I'm guessing that's going to be the resistance now. So if anything, we'll pop back here and continue short, or we'll pop back and kind of see what kind of price action we have there, and then go to the to the upside. That's not too bad for the USD Japanese yen. Let's do okay, so that's that. I'll do some more analysis on some of the other pairs, just to kind of keep you guys updated, to see what kind of price moves are looking, and how much money we can stand to make from those price moves. Yep. So that's the analysis. US dollar, Japanese yen, daily chart. We'll see what happens next week.